Good afternoon, everyone. This is BremSter, and today I'm coming to you with a puzzle called Suite 15 by Sotek. This is one that came in quite recently, but I saw this one and I really wanted to give it a try because this is using a trick that I think I've explored a little bit, and I could be wrong, but I saw something about this puzzle that I absolutely wanted to explore, and because I was kind of jumping to solve it, it jumped my queue. That will happen. Yeah, I mean, I also solve for fun, and this one was submitted to my queue and I saw it and I just wanted to do it, so I'm going to do it. And the reason for that is a puzzle that I set with Virtual about a month ago called White Lotus, and it introduced a trick, and I think this puzzle may use the same trick. I could be wrong about that. But because of that, I want to try it out. What else is going on? Stuff. I'm kind of really wanting to get into this one, so I'm just going to jump into it. So this is Suite 15 by Sotek. Sotek is one of the people who is primarily responsible for my channel existing, so that also helps. So let's have a look at the rules, shall we? So normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. And then we've got killer cages. So in cages, digits must sum to the number in the top left corner of the cage. So these three cells will sum to 15, these two will sum to 12, these two will sum to 12, these two will sum to 8. That's what we've got. Digits cannot repeat within cages, but all of these cages are straight, so that's not an issue. Now, I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. Now, I don't know if this is relevant to this puzzle or not, but I'm absolutely going to go over a concept which I absolutely adore about 3-cell 15 cages, because I can see a lot going on with 3-cell 15 cages that a lot of people may not jump in on right away, which is the concept of entropy and 15 cages, 3-cell 15 cages. Now, Sudoku entropy is the concept of digits existing in either a low state, 1, 2, 3, a middle state, 4, 5, 6, or a high state, 7, 8, 9. Now, with a 15 cage, there are only 2 entropic possibilities for a 15 cage. And I'm going to use this cage because I'm right-handed, so I tend to work on the right. It's a thing. Anyway, in this 15 cage, I'm going to explain why there are only 2 possible entropic states. There's multiple ways of making up a 15 cage. I think there's 8 or 9, but there's only 2 entropic ways of doing it. Now, the first one is they are all middle digits. So if you used 4, 5, 6, that is a way of making up a 15 cage. Now, I know in this case that is not possible, but I will go into that in a moment. 4, 5, 6 is a perfectly valid way of making up a 15 cage, all middle digits. Now, if you use the other way of doing it, of course, is to have 1 low digit, 1 middle digit, and 1 high digit. So if you have a low, a middle, and a high, that's another perfectly valid way of making a 15 cage. Now, if you were to break that, you can't make it with 3 low digits because the 3 low digits sum to 6. You can't make it with 3 high digits because the 3 high digits sum to 24. So the only other possibility is to have 2 of either low or 2 of either high. You can't do it with 2 of either low because the maximum you can make 2 low digits sum to is 2 and 3 summing to 5, and the other digit would have to be 10, which doesn't work. And the lowest you can make 2 high digits sum to is 7 and 8, which is 15, and the other digit would have to be 0, which doesn't work. So the only 2 entropic states you can have for a 15 cage are all mid or a low, a middle, and a high. Now, the important thing to note about that is every one of those entropic states requires you to have a middle digit in the cage. So when you've got 2 3-cell 15 cages like this that see each other, then neither of them can be 4, 5, 6, because if this was 4, 5, 6, I couldn't put a middle into that cage and it's broken. So we know that each of these cages, and any time you have 2 3-cell 15 cages that fully see each other, they must be fully entropic. 1 low, 1 mid, 1 high. Now, one thing we also know is an entire row, an entire column, or an entire box of a Sudoku contains the digits from 1 to 9. If you add the digits from 1 to 9 together, you get 45, which is 3 times 15. So the other thing you have in a row like this, where you've got 2 15 cages, is these also sum to 15. So those are 15. And again, because this is entropic and this is entropic, this must also be an entropic 15 cage. So we know this is an entropic 15 cage, this is an entropic 15 cage, this is an entropic 15 cage. Now, because this is an entropic 15 cage and this is an entropic 15 cage, this is also an entropic 15 cage. I'm going to use blue. Blue, I think, will look better. That is also an entropic 15 cage. Now, we've got the same down here. These are entropic 15 cages. So this must be an entropic 15 cage. These are entropic 15 cages. So this must be an entropic 15 cage. Because again, it's the same thing. Two 15 cages that see each other, they must sum to 15, but we can't, if we put 4, 5, 6 into any of them, the other is broken. These become two 15 cages, so this must sum to 15, but because they're seeing multiple 15 cages, they must be fully entropic. We've got the same down here. This must be an entropic 15 cage. We've now got two entropic 15, fully entropic 15 cages. I'm not going to use blue, I'm going to use purple. This must be another fully entropic 15 cage. So we know from those, each of those sections will contain a low digit, a middle digit, and a high digit. Not sure about all of the rest of them. They're the only 15 cages I can see that fully see each other, but that is an important thing to see. Each one of those bands and each of the three cell 15 cages that we've already got must fully contain a low digit, a middle digit, and a high digit. Important to note. Where I go from here, I'm not sure. Now, this row was calling out to me because these sum to 29, 41. So these must sum to 4. And the only way to do that is to make those 1 and 3. So those are low digits. But what I do with that, I'm not sure. Now, we know that these are either 1, 4 or 2, 3. But I'm not sure what that's doing, because middle is possible in either of those. And if it's 2, 3, then these are just middle and high, and I use the other low digit down here. If this is 2, 3, I just have to put a 1 in this 15 cage, and that's fine. Although if I don't use 1, 2, 3, no. Oh yeah, I just couldn't put the 1 here. This would be 1, 7. If this is 2, 3, this is 1, 7, and the 1 would have to go off that lines. Hang on, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. If this is 2, 3, this becomes 1, 7. Oh, and then I just put a 2 in this 15. Well, hang on, there is a 2 in this 15 cage. I don't know where I went completely wrong there. That absolutely works. If this is 2, 3, this is 1, 7, and then but I do have to put a 2 in this 15 cage. No, I don't. This could be 4, 5, 6. This absolutely could be 4, 5, 6. No, it's fully entropic because of the box, not because of the row. For the row, it doesn't have to be fully entropic because of the box, because this is a 15 cage. These are two 15 cages that see each other. This has to be fully entropic. It must contain a low digit and it cannot contain a 3. This must contain a 2, which has done absolutely nothing for those. So there can't be a 9 here because it would have to be 9, 3. If there's a 9 in here, it would be 9, 2, 4. And if there's a 9 here, it's 9, 5. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. Okay, so the entropy, I was thinking the entropy trick would be the key to this puzzle. But it's not. Now, this is a 15 cage. I'm going to color it. That's a 15 cage. That's a 15 cage. That's a 15 cage. Wait a minute. Let's think about these. Actually, let's do it from here. Let's work left to right. Let's think about these digits and where they go in this box. because these 3 digits have to go into these cells. Now, if I was to put this digit there, that's fine. But where do I put this digit now? If I was to put it here, again, that's fine. But where does this digit go? It either goes down here or up here. Now, if I put... How is this going to work? Because if... Okay, if this digit... Let's go to the letter tool. If I was to make this A, and I made this A, and then I made this B, and I made this B, and it would work whether I made that B or I made this B. It doesn't matter. It's just I put B up here. Where do I put C now? Because I can't put C in here. And if I put C here, then by math, that has to be A. And if I put C here, then by math, that has to be B, because remember, these all sum to 15. So I can't put A and B on different sides. So as soon as I put A on one side, and if I was to put C here, then by math, yeah, it doesn't matter. If I was to put A and B on different sides, like this, I can't put C anywhere without breaking the puzzle. So A and B have to go on the same side, which automatically forces C to be on the same side, which means you've got roping going on. But I don't know which way the roping goes. So this will be a 15. Hang on, does that mean I can extend it though? Because if these 3 cells go here, then they also go here. And if these 3 cells go here, they also go here. Wait a minute. So let's get out of the letter tool. So if these 3 cells go here, they go here. If these 3 cells go here, they go here. Either way, one of these is a 15 cage, which means the other one is a 15 cage, which means that's a 6. And this is now a 15 cage, and this is now a 15 cage, which means they're entropic. All of these are fully entropic 15 cages, and the same is going to go in this direction. If I put that cell there and then that cell there, I've broken the puzzle for the same logic in the other direction. And if this goes here, then it must go here, making this a 15 cage. And if this goes here, then it must go here, which makes this a 15 cage. Either way, that becomes a 15 cage and that becomes a 15 cage. And you end up with 15 cages in those and those. So these are also fully entropic 15 cages. Now this is a 9 cage that cannot contain a middle digit. So it could be 1 8, it can be 2 7, it can't be 3 6, and it can't be 4 5. Because if this was 4 5, this would be broken and this would be broken. This is crazy. And I think I can repeat that logic. Okay, this is taking what I knew a step further. So this 15 cage, I can't split the digits up. So this, if this goes here, then they go here, and this is a 15 cage. And if this goes here, then they go here, and this is a 15 cage. And if this is the 15 cage, then this is a 15 cage, and this is a 15 cage. And if this is a 15 cage, then this is just a 15 cage. Whichever way you do it, these are 15 cages, and that's the 3, and that's the 1. And this is a 15 cage. And it'll be the same up here, won't it? These that will either go here, making that a 15 cage, and go down here, making that a 15 cage, which will make that a 15 cage, or these will go here, which makes that a 15 cage and makes that a... All of these are banded 15 cages, which means this is a 15 cage, which means that's a 2 and that's an 8. That's not a 2, that's not a 3. That's a 3, which means this isn't a 3 and this isn't a 2. This is a 1, 4. I can't put a 1 into this 8 cage. So it's 2, 6 or 3, 5. And it's not 2, 6. This is a 3, 5 cage. And every single one of these lines is an entropic 15 cage. So this can't be 5, 8 now. It's 4, 9 or 6, 7. This 12 cage, it can't be 3, 9 and it can't be 4, 8. So this is 5, 7, which takes 6, 7 out of there. This is 4, 9, which makes this 1 and this 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6. There must be a 5 in this 15 cage because I have to have an entropic, because each of these is fully entropic. So these have 2 digits that sum to 10. They're not 1, 9. They're not 2, 8. They're not 4, 6. So this is 3, 7, 5. And these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 and 9, and 2, 9, 4 sums to 15. The 3, 5 here looks up, making that the 7. Mind blown. Mind absolutely blown. There's no 2 or 3 in this 15 cage, so there's a 1, so there's a 3 over here. So this is a 1 and 2 digits that sum to 14. And it's not 1, 5, 9. So this is 1, 6, 8. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 3, 5, 7 sums to 15. These are therefore 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 6, and 8, it sums to 15. There's no 6 there. There's no 1 there. This 1 takes 1 out of there, which takes 8 out of there. Oh, this is crazy. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, and 9, which is 6 plus 9, which does work. There's a 3 down here somewhere. This is nuts. This has got a 2 but no 5. So I need 2 digits that sum to 13. 9, 4 would work. 8, 5 doesn't. 7, 6 would. So I'm looking in the wrong place. Actually, I may not be, because I can't use a 5 in here. So this can't be 2, 5, 8. If I put a 5 in here, this becomes 2, 5, 8. So there's no 8 in here. There's no 8 down here. There's no 8 down here. So there's an 8 in one of those two, and I can't put an 8 in an 8 cage. That's an 8. So if this is 8, 3... No, and this is an entropic 15 gauge. So if this is 8, 5, that's a 2, and I don't have a 2 available. That's the 3. 8 and 3 makes that 4. This becomes 5. This is 2, 6, because I need to put a middle digit in it. 2 and 6 sums to 8, so this is 2, 6, 7. These are 1 and 9, and I can't put 9 in an 8 cage. So that's the 1, that's the 9. The 9 goes with the 3, the 1 goes with the 7. The 7 comes out of here. Sorry about that, everyone. One of the biggest problems with working for a living is, and recording at the end of your work day, is that work can call you. So I literally got a phone call from work. I needed to go and deal with something. So back to the puzzle. So where was I? I think, yeah, I'd just been doing a whole bunch of stuff here. And I do know that every single line in this puzzle is an entropic 15 gauge. Now, I just got this 267. So I'm pretty certain. It's fairly fresh. It was only about 30 minutes ago. So what about this 14 cage now? So you can make up a 14 cage. It's a high value, so I'm going to start with 9 and go down. So I could make it with 9.5. 9.5 is possible. I can't make it with 8.6. I don't have 6 available, and 7.7 isn't possible. So this is 5.9. So what are these? Actually, what's missing from the row? 1, 2, 3. This is 4, and 4 has to go with 8. So this is 4, 8. Okay. Now, I need to put a 2 into this 15 cage because, again, it's an fully entropic 15 cage. So I have to put a 2 into it. I need to put a high digit into it, and I can't use 9 or 8. So this is 2, 7. 2, 7 sums to 9, so this is 2, 6, 7. And these are, I have to put a middle digit in. The middle digit I have is 4, and I have to put a high digit in. The high digit I have is 8. So this is 4 and 8. Well, hang on. So where do I put 4 in this column? 4 in this column is in one of those two. That may not be that useful. But over here, I know what digits are left. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 5, and 9. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 6, and 7 better sum to 2. Yes, 6 and 7 is 13, plus 2 is 15. Can't put 7 into a 17 cage. So this is a 2 or a 6. Okay, where am I looking now? Well, this 9 looks like making that 2 and that 9. The 2 looks down, taking 2 out of there. Well, this 9 cage is under a lot of pressure now because I can't use 1, 8, I can't use 2, 7, I can't use 4, 5. This has to be 3, 6, which means this is the 7 and this is not the 7. That means this is the 5, this is the 3, and this just has to be a 1, doesn't it? 1, 2, yeah, this has to be a 1. I'm missing a 1 from the column. So there's no 1, 8 here. This is 2, 7. So I need to put a low digit in. No, I've got a low digit. I need to put a high digit in here. All I know is it's not 7, and it's seen from 2 directions by 7. But these have to sum to 14. So they're 9, 5 or 8, 6. And they're not 8, 6. There's no 6. So this is 5, 9. And these, well, I have to put a 3 over here, but I can't put it there or there because of those 3s. This is a 3. There's no 3 in either of those. And the digits that are missing are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, and 8 is 15. So I'm golden here. So I know what these are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, and 8. Well, there's no 8 there. Oh, this 9 looks down, making that the 5 and that the 9. Hang on. This 6 makes that 2 and that 6. The 2 looks down, making that 4, and I can take 4 out of those. This can't be a 6 because this is fully entropic. So this is 3, this is 6. This can't be low. This is 8, this is 2. And I could have used the fact that they're 15. 7 plus 8, 7 plus 8. This is all good. There's no 4 here anymore. This is the 4. This has to have a middle digit in it, so it has to have the 5 in it, which means the 6 has to be over here. Now the 5 here needs 2 digits that sum to 10. Now I could use 1, 9. I can't use 2, 8. I can't use 3, 7, and I can't use 4, 6. So this is 1, 5, 9. And these are 1, 2, 3 is the low digit I've got available, and the high digit I've got is 8. 3, this is 3, 4, 8, which means I can get what all of these are. The low digit I'm missing is 2, the middle digit I'm missing is 6, and the high digit I'm missing is 7. So this was 2, 6, 7. And over here, the digits I'm now missing from the box are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 9, which again, I could have used the roping. I'd completely forgotten about the roping. The roping is what got me here, but I'm using the entropy or the sums or whatever gets you there. I love the entropy in this, by the way, but then again, that's something I've been playing with. What comes next? This 3 looks up taking 3 out of there. 8 is in there and there, so I can't put 8 in either of those. Well, where is 8 in this column is the question. Can't be in any of those, can't be in any of those, can't be in either of those. That's an 8, and there's no 8 in either of those. This 1 makes this the 6 and this the 1. That 1, oh, there's no 1 in either of those, so that's the 1. I'm going to get rid of all of this colouring now. I know that everything here is an entropic 15 cage. Um, there's no 6 here. There's no 2 there. That's the 7, and I can take 7 out of those. The 7 looks up, making that 5, which means 5 comes out of those. The 5 looks down, making that 9 and that 5. This 5 looks down, making that 9 and that 5. That 9 looks up, making that 4 and that 9. The 4 looks down, making that 8 and that 4. The 8 makes that 3 and that 8. The 3 looks up, making that 7 and that 3. The 7 looks down, making that 2 and that 7. The 2 looks up, making that 6 and that 2. Now I've done the 2 right-hand stacks. Now, if you're not familiar with the term stack, basically it's a way of being able to communicate a location in a Sudoku grid. So boxes 1, 2, and 3, basically they are the first band of a Sudoku grid because they're banding across the Sudoku grid. This is the second band because it's the second band of boxes, and this is the third band. And this is the first stack. This is the second stack, and this is the third stack. So this is stack 2, this is stack 3, and they're done. So I've only got stack 1 to finish. Not sure how to do that yet, though. Now, these horizontal cages aren't going to do anything because they're fully resolved. So I've got to use these vertical ones somehow. Well, I've got a 4-8 pair. So I can take 4 out of there and 8 out of there. Are there any other hidden pairs? Oh no, it is that hidden highlighted cell. If this is this is 1, 6. So I took something out of there. So this is 2, 5. Oh, I can't put a 9 in a 7 cage, and I can't put a 9 in an 8 cage. This is the 9. That's what I need. There's no 9 there. There's no 9 there. Actually, that doesn't do as much as I thought. But the thing that I saw still matters. So the only way to make this up is with 1, 6 or 2, 5. But if this is 1, 6, what do I put in that cell? Nothing. So this has to be 2 and 5. That makes this 1, which makes this 7, which makes this 6. Now the 2, 5 takes 2 out of there, takes 5 out of there. This 2 looks up making that the 9, so there's no 9 there. The 2 looks, I've already done that. 4, 8. So this is, wait a minute, have I broken this? Oh, no, the 9 looks down making this 1, which makes this 5, which makes this 9. The 1 looks up making this 6, which takes 6 out of both of those. The 6 looks down making that 7, which takes 7 out of both of those. Okay, so now I've got the 4, 8 pair in this column, and I need to look somewhere else. The 1, 7 here looks up making that 5 and that 7. The 1 looks up making that 8 and that 1. The 8 looks down making that 4 and that 8. The 8 looks up making that 4 and that 8. This 4 looks up making that 2 and that 4. The 2 looks down making that 6 and that 2. And that is the correct solution to the puzzle. It's only had one solve in less than an hour. Okay, so obviously when this was tested, it was tested in a tool other than Sudoku Pad. So yay, first kid off the block. Let's see if we can get that number much, much higher, shall we? That is a very cool puzzle. By the time I release this, my solve is going to be well over 7 days, probably closer to 10 days ago. So when you solve this, if you're like number 2 in 10 days, I was number 1. So I wonder who number 2 is going to be. Maybe if you were number 2, post it. Yeah, that would be funny. I love this puzzle. I wonder how you would do on this and whether it'd be much, much slower if you weren't using the entropic trick on the 15 cages. And knowing the entropic trick, go check out my puzzle White Lotus. It was posted about a month ago to the channel. If you search BremSter, search for White Lotus on my channel, you'll find it. Very, very happy with that puzzle. And it uses the entropic trick of 15 cages so critically. As I said, we submitted it to CTC because we wanted to teach people the entropic trick with 15 cages, and they didn't do it. I don't know, maybe they tried it and couldn't solve it because they didn't know the entropic trick. This one, without the entropic trick, I mean, you need to find that roping trick, which is really tricky, but I wonder how difficult this would be without using the entropy. With the entropy, I feel like I just flew through this. This was a lot of fun. That was very, very cool. That's yet another trick about 15 cages, which I I think I said with the white lotus solve that I think 15 cages in 15 3 cell 15 cages in Sudoku are possibly some of the most elegant things I've ever seen. This is proving it to me. They've got so much to it. This puzzle is glorious. Between just so much you could do. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I did. I'm really sorry about the interruption, but I have to get paid. I can't do this for a living. Only like maybe 2 people in the world are capable of doing that. Yeah. Thanks everyone. And as always, good luck with your solving.